Hey everybody, Peyton Marine here with another in the Crosshairs video. We're going to go over the new Warhammer community article that they just put out in regards to how you build your rosters. So yeah, we'll just dive right into that real quick and take a look. And then also I'm going to go over kind of how it affects my current list, which they actually kind of mentioned, which I guess was I didn't play a ton of Kill Team after they re-released it, and then like Commanders and Elites and stuff came out. But I kind of like did a little bit of research and I built a list that I guess was a very meta type list. But yeah, so we'll go over that and I'll show you what I had and kind of I don't know where I think I might go from here. All right, so Kill Team replaces points with a fast, finely balanced list building system. So no more points. You're just basically allowed to have so many, like depending upon what faction you have, you're allowed to have so many essentially like basic troops or members, and then only so many various specialists. But everybody kind of either comes preloaded out with a certain kit, or there's a few like kind of things you can swap here and there. So unless you've been really deep in really deep cover over the last week, you're aware that there's a new kill team and that the rules are changing in really exciting ways. So far, we've seen how your operative stats work, how you shoot, fight. Today, we're going to go over a big one. Here's how you actually assemble your kill team. Points are officially a thing of the past. So already right there's already been some people saying that like, yeah, for now, but eventually they'll probably end up like reintroducing them. I don't know. We'll see how well how well the balance is once we actually get our hands on the rules and start playing games. So balance, on the other hand, most certainly is not, because while there are no longer raw numbers to buy operatives in your list, to buy operatives into your list, the designers have effectively baked your operative point values into the way you pick your rosters. It's an elegant system that makes list building quicker and easier while giving you loads of ways to customize your kill teams. It's a bit of a departure from the Warhammer roster building you might be familiar with. So like the veteran Kriegman with a lifetime supply of trench shovels, let's dig in deeper. The two teams that you get in the kill team Octaris or Octarius box are complete game-ready forces, and you can build both with a range of specialties. In fact, you can field up to 9 distinct specialties and a leader on either team, giving you access to a whole array of very cool loadouts and special actions. Importantly, the two sides are designed to be evenly matched no matter which options you pick. So they have here for the orcs, you have Commando Knob, operative select from the following. So he can either have a slug and a big choppa or slug a power claw, and then 9 commando operatives. So you can select from here. But the thing to point out real quick is down here, commando boy operatives can be selected up to 9 times, and each other option can only be selected once. So basically, you like with I guess a squad of 10, you could pick the knob, and then the other 9 can just be commando boys. Now, it doesn't say on this one, but in the other one, which is interesting, but in another one, it basically says like you're also limited to which one, how many of certain ones you can take. Now, this one doesn't say that. It just said, well, I mean, it does say that to the point of like you can only bring one of each of these other ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So essentially, you could bring a commando knob and then not bring any commando boys. There's nothing here that says you have to have at least one boy or anything. You can basically take all of these others here. But only one of each. So like if you were to take whatever commando boy, like you can't bring a bunch of Burna boys. You can only have one Burna boy or one rocket, one sniper, all that kind of stuff. So and while there are many options for these two teams from the get-go, you can look forward to a similar depth of options when building kill teams with other factions for one-off battles and campaign play. So now they're going to go over this roster thing, and I'm not really sure because again, without having the book or like a factions thing, it's I don't know, a little bit harder to figure out like where they're going, I guess, or how you exactly build it. More so for like this seems pretty straightforward with the orcs, but with their next guard example, like I'm already trying to figure out from like my standpoint with if I were to continue with, well, one, I want to make a Krieg one, so this is a kind of a prime example here. So first you create a roster of up to 20 operatives. So this is kind of like similar before where you could only field, so many points, but you have like a roster. So like if you go into a tournament setting or something like that, like you can switch out between games. So something I'm going to share later was like what I took to a tournament, which basically I had 4 extra that I could swap out if I needed to. So basically, like I had it set up to where like I had really good heavy hitting kind of anti-armor stuff. I say heavy hitting, but like medium, I would say pretty good hitting anti-armor stuff. And then if I needed to, I had like some flamer stuff that I could bring in if I needed to deal with like trying to hit multiple or make multiple wounds and stuff like that for like more, I guess, a horde, or if I was more outnumbered, those seemed to work better, but it was closer range. So anyway, so uh, you note down any specialism and specific choice of war gear they have. You pick a kill team from the pool of operatives on your roster for every mission you play. In essence, you're assembling a hand-picked squad of specialists from those available to best achieve the mission's parameters. So like I said, like that kind of allows some flexibility so you're not just stuck potentially with just one like one team that only does really well against one type of thing. So like I said, it gives you a little bit of flexibility to change your roster up depending upon who your opponent is. So you're somewhat list tailoring to an extent, but like I like that flexibility that it gives you because that's kind of one of the things that's always hard with some armies. You can really build a really good like meta list that's like really good against XYZ, but really weak against ABC, or vice versa. So break it down, your name, faction keywords, so veteran guardsman, the selected keyword of your operatives that have a selectable keyword. So in this version, Krieg, list of operatives specified by their type. So here you just have, their sergeant, you have gunners, sniper, spotter, confident, zealot, medic, comms, demolition, hardened, bruiser, and then a bunch of troopers. Now, we really haven't seen what all these here do. And again, like, so it seems like you have all this stuff in there. And in that earlier thing, they said you can only pick like one of each thing. So, certain things here, though, it's kind of like obviously with trooper things, that's one of those kind of like unlimited choices you can have. And all of these are all singles. But then here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 gunners, right? So I mean, the question there is, like where, like, I don't know. We just don't get to see fully yet, like how all the different factions and like what they can pick multiples of. Because specifically with this, they go on to later to talk about the I think pretty popular guard list that was going around that I mean, like that I took, where you had 7 plasmas running in your list, plasma guns. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 gunners. Now, granted, excuse me, it says grenade launcher, melted gun, plasma gun, flamer, but I mean, why couldn't you give them all plasma? Again, I mean, it's not 7, you got 4. So, I mean, that definitely cut down the list by a lot. Excuse me, take a look. So, I mean, you do have that potential there. So it sounds like you could still, at least with the guard, like take a good amount of stuff, but also kind of change things up a little bit. All right, and then number 6 is just, well, 5 is your operatives equipment, essentially any weapons options you have selected, and 6 is notes. So requirements for a tactical objective, or I don't know, tac op. I'm not sure what the op is supposed to operation for a tactical operation. I would assume that's like if you have special rules or maybe like a mission parameter for that particular match you're playing to, you know, maybe see. All right, so depending upon your faction, kill teams need to be divided into 1 or 2 specialist groups called fire teams. Some factions can deploy 2 fire teams in a single mission, while others hit the drop zone with 1. An Astra Militarum kill team, for example, can bring 2 fire teams, giving them a numerical advantage over Adeptus Astartes kill team, which can or who can only field 1, meaning they'll have more tools for every job and more combinations. Now, this is something they don't really like. I mean, they touch on that, but like, what does that mean exactly? So I have two fire teams. Cool. So that essentially like what do they call it? I can't remember now. Where you can combat, I think combat squad, right? Your like Space Marine has a 10-man squad, but then you deploy them as 10, but then after that you can combat squad them into 5 and 5. You know, is that what they're saying here, or can you like basically just here's my kill team I'm bringing. This is fire team 1, fire team 2. I can deploy them in 2 different locations. Can I keep 1 in reserve to bring them later? Again, a lot of questions with these articles that they just kind of give the kind of the tip of the iceberg. And I mean, honestly, if this was more of like a Q&A kind of thing, we might get these questions out there and get some of these answers. These are just some of the questions I have already. I'm like, okay, cool. But what does that really mean? Like, I understand what they're trying to say narratively, but how's that going to play out? How does it actually work? Other than just knowing I can have 2 fire teams. And again, is that you have to be even fire team. So if I have 10, you know, troopers, does that mean 5 and 5? Can I be uneven, 7 and 3, or you know? So all right, so Imperial Guard kill team consists of 2 fire teams selected from the following list: Guardsmen and Tempestus Scions. Now, I would have really liked if they would have went more into the Tempestus Scions, because that is um, essentially, I mean, this is kind of my list that I had before, where I had a mixture of Guardsmen. It was a Guardsman list technically, but with a lot of Tempestus Scions to bring in those extra weapons and stuff, plus a better ballistic skill as well. So Guardsman fire team includes 7 guardsmen. So right there, there's 7 guardsmen. So does the other one have 3 in it? Operatives selected from the following list. So guardsman trooper, guardsman comms, and then you have gunner, 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 gunner. So here we may find out that, like I was kind of asking before, um, you probably can only bring 1 of each of these gunners. So that's why you can't bring, I guess, up to 4 plasma guns, which is unfortunate. Because I mean, I don't know. Kind of my issue with that though is because yeah, so Space Marines may not be able to bring as many there, but they're gonna be resilient. I mean, let's just be honest. They're that Chaos Space Marines, you know, Plague Marines, that kind of stuff are going to be very resilient. And if they are able to kind of easily dispatch and like zero in on your melta gun or your plasma gun and take out your anti-armor stuff that's going to really be able to take them down, which we all know is going to be high priority targets, then you're done. I mean, I honestly, like, you're gonna probably, it's gonna be a slow grind, but I don't know. Maybe again, we haven't played, so this is all conjecture, but that's just how I'm feeling right now. Like, that doesn't sound very balanced. It'd be nice if maybe you could bring maybe 2 of that. I mean, I don't know, because I mean, you do have a melta gun and a plasma gun, but melta gun, well, never mind. I was gonna say it doesn't have the range, but that's different now. We like, I guess range is not a thing. So, yeah, maybe that is a good thing, or not going to matter as much. All right, so other than guardsman trooper operatives, each guardsman fire team can only include up to 3 of the operatives above. Other than guardsman trooper operatives, your kill team can only include each operative above once. Okay, so So you can only have 3 other operatives, and you can only include each of them once. So aside from the trooper, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 6 options. You can only pick 3, and they can't be doubled. So you can only pick them once. So kind of got our answer right there. So um, at least with my kill team that I started making, I liked it so much that I started building it more to kind of create an Elysian army, because that's kind of what they're based on. So I do have other weapon options that I can bring in, and so I won't be like, too, uh, I guess, at a loss of not having the models, or have to like scramble to make new models and paint them to put into my kill team. So I should be able to fill most of these, I think. Uh, I mean, I guess probably grenade launcher and sniper rifle I don't have in my current army, which would be, especially on the sniper, I think would be a really fun model to put together. But again, my issue is this army that I have is using third-party bits. It's only 1 bit right now, but if I was to make a sniper one, the sniper rifle most definitely would be a third-party bit as well, which would then make me ineligible for any Games Workshop official events. So as long as that doesn't get like brought over into like Adepticons and Nova and LVO and stuff like that, I should be okay. And I'll still have to make like probably like my Krieg kill team that I'm thinking about doing when this comes out will be like, if I do get to go to an official event, that would be the team that I have to take. All right, so if your kill team does not include any leader operatives, instead of selecting 1 guardsman trooper operative for 1 guardsman fire team, you can select a guardsman sergeant operative equipped with one of the options. Okay, so you can give them a bolt pistol, las pistol, or plasma, and then chainsword or power weapon. So some good flexibility there, where you can kind of swap out. Unlike the orc knob, like really you just had 2 options that were already together. Like you couldn't kind of mix and match, which I'd have to look at it again. If you could really, there's only 4 options there. 2 of them might have been the same. They're both sluggas, I think. Yeah, no. So I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're both sluggas. Just one is a big chopper, and one's a power claw. Okay. Anyway, too far. Okay, so generally speaking, the less imposing the operative, the more of them you can bring in a fire team. For example, in a fire team of Death Guard, you can take up to 3 Plague Marines or 8 Pox Walkers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is kind of confusing because it says can take up to 3 Plague Marines or 8 Potwalkers, not like and. So they're in this picture, they're showing, all of them, which again, like I said, is kind of confusing because it's like, well, I mean, that's a pretty good force in my opinion, because I'm sure these Plague Marines are pretty resilient. They probably are a bit slow, but can probably really wreck you when they get in close. And then these Pokwalkers, they probably have some sort of rule where they can like get up, or I don't know if they just, if you can mow them down easily or not, but they're probably pretty, well, I want to say they're pretty fast, but I'm not sure. That would be kind of, was it World War Z-esque if they were like super fast but could get in your face because they were going to be kind of squishy. I don't know, but the wording there kind of makes it seem like it's either or, not both. So let's see here. What's more, each fire team has its own rules on how many specialists you can bring along, which means the days of facing 12 or more plasma-toting Astra Militarum guardsmen are mercifully long gone. Now that's crazy. I don't know how someone could fit 12 plasma-toting Astra Militarum. Just because I don't even think you could have that many in a list for the points cost. So I don't know. Maybe they had some on their like reserve roster, so if some were killed off or something, I don't know. But yeah. But what if you want even more customization options? What about special equipment? What about rare equipment? You can requisition or even capture your kill team campaign rules on. So that would be cool, but honestly, like for me, unfortunately, I just don't have the time and stuff to participate in a lot of these like campaigns and stuff like that that happen at stores and stuff like that over a long period of time, just because of work and having 4 kids. And there's just the only time I get some good play in is when I attend events and tournaments. Like then I can get like a whole day of a bunch of matches in, which is I'm not a super competitive player. I like to play for fun and stuff like that, but I basically have to go and get steamrolled at these tournaments all the time because that's the only way I can really get a bunch of games and stuff in. Because otherwise, I'm just too busy to uh, like try to go every Thursday to the local gaming store or something for like a Thursday night Warhammer, kill team or whatever it is, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is, and that's just how that rolls. So yeah, we'll let you know. So yeah, what was the? Oh yeah, as the camper, we'll let you know as we learn more. Either way, we're biding our time to prepare for the box to arrive. So yeah, so that's pretty much this. It's pretty interesting for the most part. You know how this is all gonna roll out, like how even will it really be? It's yet to be known. Like with all this, we're just getting the, the tip of the iceberg until the actual box comes out. For the most part, I do like the idea of it. It does seem easier, um, but again, I guess because I'm a little attached to my kill team I had, I'm not really sure how all that will roll. So let's switch on over to the other thing. Take a look at the kill team that I would take around. All right, so here it is right here. So this is the ODST. So if you're not familiar, ODST is Orbital Drop Shock Troopers from Halo, that I basically built this team around as like its theme. It's also supposed to be like I guess in lore, they're Elysians. They're just like kind of a different regiment of Elysians. And like you can see, they look almost like they could all be like it's like third party bits, but it's actually Van Star from Necromunda. I went there because one, their bodies and armor look pretty like some kind of like power armor or advanced sci-fi kind of armor similar to that of the ODST. And then the weapons too. Now, not there's nothing in this picture in particular, but especially the las guns that they have look extremely like the assault rifle from Halo, and as such, the rest of their weapons kind of have a similar aesthetic as well to that. So I thought they just worked really well. So as you can see here, I've got plasma, 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 and that's it. So that's 7 plasma, right? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my leader, his power fist and a plasma pistol. Back here was a close combat specialist. He just had a las las gun, and then like he has these two uh, I don't know, claw things that the Vanstar had that I just gave him because they looked really cool on him. So he has like 2 of them. Now these are Forge World upgrades as well as these flamers over here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 flamers over here, and this was to be able to swap out if I needed to get those automatic hits and stuff like that. So I just had to roll the wound, and generally we get a decent amount of wounds because you're rolling a d6 and really could take down a model really quickly. You just had to get in close with them, but it wasn't too bad really. So yeah, so that was my kill team that I took. I got 3rd place in a local tournament, and then got best painted. The other thing I want to point out too, I guess, is you can see some of them have colors. So there's like a gray and white stripe, and then this is like a kind of an orange color. You got red over here. This is blue. You can't really see it too well. And then this one also you can't really see. It's got purple. So all the ones with colors are either a like a Tempestus Scion or a opera, like a specialist within the army. So that's how I marked them out, so you could tell which ones. And then on my roster, I would say like, red is a marksman or whatever the specialist was. So that would help. So my opponent knew like which ones were which, so I wasn't like hiding anything from them, or it just gets confusing when you look at this whole army. So, and then the other one is just another picture. This was at Nova, a little bit closer shot of them. So again, with these models, the bodies, the weapons, all this, Van Sar, the packs, the graph shoots are from Forge World Elysian drop troops, but they're actually no longer available. I have like a huge stockpile of them. I bought like a ton of them, and now Elysians are no longer available in Forge World. So I have a good amount, but I'm kind of like, it's kind of unfortunate because you can't get any more right now. But yeah, so I added them on there, and then the helmets are from Puppets War. They just have that ODST kind of sci-fi look to them, and so I got those, and they look really well with everything. So that is what I went with for my team. So, all right, well, we'll call that it for this one. Yeah, let me know what you think. Are you liking the new roster thing? How does this potentially affect your roster? Because again, this is all kind of conjecture until we really get the rules in hand, and then we'll find out a little bit more. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and then also check out my Instagram and Facebook links in the description below. And until next time.